Hey golfers, Tony with Reactionary Golf. Wanted to go ahead and do some video with some lines from this perspective. Paul asked me to do some, so what I want to do though first is talk a little bit about camera placement. You know, we're speculating that right there is about the focal point, so when we look at lines, we have to understand things work obviously to converge into that center focal point. So if the camera is placed, let's say over here or over here, the same swing will have different lines, different appearances. If the camera is a little higher, a little lower, it's going to have different appearances. So you really can't use lines to measure things in 3D space from video. It just can't be done. We can extrapolate some information from it, and that's how I use this. And so let me kind of just point out some reference lines that we can all get into and not go over that. So I use what is called an R-axis line, and really what it is, it's real simple. Center of mass of the club head to the center of mass of the hands, we draw a line there. We're going to see some, that's the bowing of the shaft that we see. We see the raising of the hands. And so that's the reason why I don't put it on the shaft line. It's a few degrees off, but you could easily put it on the shaft line too. So this is, and I'll probably kill his name, but Louis D. Carrillis is the head pro out at the Vineyards Golf Club on the far east side of Long Island. He's out in Riverhead. Great area. If you ever get out to Long Island, when I worked for the Met section, I used to drive out there, and going out to Riverhead was just awesome because after you kind of got through here out on Long Island, and all of a sudden you get all these pine trees, huge pine trees, and you're driving through this, and it's like driving through Georgia, and it's like, where am I? And I'm on 495 going forever, and like 5 hours later, I finally get to the end, and it's gorgeous out there. So if you ever get a chance, go out there. And also, now Louis been working on my swing methodology for, I guess from the last couple months. So this is the after, and I'll probably have to do some video with before, but so these are the after. So some of the things that we've changed and what we look at is his posture's gotten a lot better. He's gotten a lot taller in his posture. So from a setup standpoint, this is like awesome. So let's go ahead and jump into his swing. And the reason why I wanted to jump into a swing is because we've never met personally. This was all done online. So obviously you can see camera's moving a little bit. So we're going to retweak those lines as we kind of go through it. So you can see how much camera moved. So this is a great point of camera placement relative to the club, relative to any lines that are being drawn. You have to understand the dynamics of all that. So let's redraw that line. So let's see what it is. So obviously he's got someone videotaping this. So what I'm looking at, because you can see the movement, which is okay. The reason why I still like to and want to use his swing is this is exactly how it should look like going back. This to me is textbook perfect. So when some things to point out here, shaft is roughly parallel with his feet. That's perfect. Face, you can kind of see it. It's a little bit of that toe down, which is square to its trajectory. It's square to its path. It's not rotating open. So this is just, again, this is exactly how Jeff Flagg did it in 2014. Louis just nailed it perfectly. So now at the top, this, he has a little bit of a, we'll call that traditional like three-quarter backswing. So this shaft may appear to say, hey, is this shaft laid off because it's pointing a little bit to the left? And it's not. The reason is it's because it's shorter. If this club continued to go, then all of a sudden the shaft would be over here. So it starts shifting depending on where it's at in the length of the swing goes. So he has kind of just a three-quarter swing. I mean, that's his. You can see he's really loaded up into this right hip joint. You know, that right glute. I'm going to wind this back a little bit. I like how he really gets into this right side right here. I'm just going to kind of draw a line down. That just looks really good. So you can actually see he's kind of increased his motion of that right hip and gotten into it deeper. So now he's loaded up fully behind the ball where he needs to be with this driver. Now coming down, and we've been working on this arm swing, and this is really good. Of course we see the body going first, but we really focused on getting the speed of the arms up to deliver this golf club. Now here's what's awesome. And you can see the hands are working up. That's normal. This position now pretty much mirrors what the takeaway was. And that's the reason why I kind of draw that line above the shaft, because I know it's going to come in above the shaft. It's just the dynamics of the body, and because different, we'll do another video with that. But this is exactly how it should look like. So again, the shaft is parallel with his feet. These are checkpoints. These are not positions. These are reference points to understand where that club is coming through on impact. So some good points, club face right there. So you can see that club face, and actually it's probably a little bit more, yeah, I guess that's about right. Maybe about there. But it's got great extension at right wrist, shafts parallel to the target. It's coming, club heads is just perfect, and there's perfect delivery at impact. So dynamics of the body are great. There's no issues with the arms being this far out. Don't try to get back to that original starting point. We want it to be dynamic through the ball. So I have no issues with this shaft being a little bit vertical. More vertical. It's not obviously not vertical, but with being the hands being a little bit higher, I have no issue with that. Because also you got to remember, in space, that line, that shaft line, and where he's at, they're not really correlating with each other. So I like this position because also as that club's coming down, that swing is just coming back this way. So things have shifted forward also. So that's another reason why we got to be careful with lines, is because he's forward, he's up here with his hands relative to a perspective of that line. So I know I keep kind of beating up that point, but I just want people to understand that you can't use lines to establish 3D space. And so now there's the swing, there's the club. Now, this area right here, from here to here, is what Dr. Kwan talks about his functional swing plane. And this is really what is done perfectly. So if we take a look from here to here, that is the closest thing to this golf club being on a true plane. And this was just executed perfectly. So again, shafts roughly parallel with his alignment. Now the only thing I want Louis to keep working on is just to now speed this up, to go faster, to let the right hip, let this right shoulder, let this left lat come back as he's posting up into a stronger leg. But other than that, this ball was just ripped, carried about 280, I think he said. So this is what I would call, and I told him this, I said this was executed perfectly. These are the alignments that I like to see. And it's one of those things that through his practice, through the techniques, and through the video and analysis that we've been doing through Inside the Golf Lab as part of a Lab Tech member, we've been able to get these lines coordinated and done this from a distance. So appreciate Louis letting me share this with you. I hope this makes sense. Hope these lines make sense. And let me know if you're interested in joining Inside the Golf Lab so you can start swinging like this. Just check out Reactionary Golf Inside the Lab, and we got some different options for you right there. Guys, have a great start of the season. It's allergy season here in Mississippi, so if I sound a little nasally, that's why. I'm already on my Claret ND. So have a great time. Later.